I've always been a huge fan of gimbals. I've used them throughout all of my career as a videographer, and I have bought a fair share of them. I think my first gimbal was from a company called Came TV or something like that, and I think that was 6 years ago. I bought it for 1,200 bucks, and yeah, by today's standards, it was a complete piece of trash. So eventually this very cheap gimbal would break, and I actually went for a Letos Helix. This beast here. I think it cost me about 5,000 bucks or something, and in hindsight I probably should have bought something else. I mean, the design is nice and everything, the idea of a U-shape is really cool, but I think even back then there were better gimbals. Eventually I will get to jobs that paid me enough to afford this beauty here. This is a Movi Pro. I've used this gimbal on a lot of projects in many countries, and here in the bottom there is still a stone from a project that I shot in Africa. However, what stood out to me about the Movi Pro over the competitors is this ring design. From a videographer standpoint, this ring design makes a lot of sense. You can grab it from pretty much anywhere, you can grab it with two people, you can rotate it if that is your thing. So when my current gimbal, the DJI RS2, came out, I was kind of torn between this new pistol grip type of gimbal and the ring that I was used to. And this brings us to today's product that I'm reviewing. It is the DigitalFoto Ring for the DJI RS2. Full disclosure, DigitalFoto sent me this ring for the review, however they get nothing to say about this review, they just sent me the product and my opinion is my own. First things first, the build quality is really good on this ring. It's made out of sturdy aluminum and everything is, you know, it has this professional feeling to it. The grips are really good, they really grip, and this is something that I missed on my Movi Pro because everything here is made out of carbon fiber. On the bottom of the DF ring you have a power supply where you can plug in the RS2 and this works as advertised. And the whole thing is actually powered through a LEMO to D-tap adapter that also comes with the set. It's 60 centimeters long, I believe. And you can then plug it into a V-mount battery. Here I have one from FX Line, which will last for a very long time. The foot stands are also really sturdy and it locks in. And what I like about this design is that you can adjust the level of tilt that you want to have. Whereas here with the Movi, you're pretty much stuck with what the default is. One small point to criticize is probably the screws, but more on that later. Now, with gimbals getting smaller and the pistol grip being a very mobile option, you might ask yourself, why the hell would I need a ring? For me as a professional videographer, I think the biggest argument for ring over pistol grip is simply you have more control with a ring. You have 2 points of contact with 2 hands, it's symmetrically, and for me, at least in my experience, maybe this is also because I'm used to this type of gimbal, it just makes it easier to get smooth shots. Another big argument for the ring are the mounting options. You know, you can mount a monitor much easier, additional batteries, accessories, and so on and so forth if you use the ring. Another strong argument, and that's also my personal opinion, is it's probably better for your back long term if you use a ring than a pistol grip. With a ring, everything is symmetrically distributed with your muscles on the left and right side of your shoulder, whereas with the pistol grip, you have the tendency of being more one-sided. And if you have the budget or the option, you can easily add a rig like, you know, an Armorman, Easyrig or something to it to take the weight away from your shoulders and your back.
Speaking of accessories, if you want to remote control your gimbal, you can purchase the DJI Ronin tethered control handle, which you can mount to the DF ring. It's not exactly cheap at almost 350 bucks, but it allows you to control the overall movement of the gimbal much better. Another piece of equipment that makes a lot of sense if you plan on using this setup for long shooting days is something like an Easyrig. DigitalFoto actually offer a few interesting products to match the ring for the RS2.
Now, those supporting systems are not exactly cheap, even with companies like DigitalFoto's pushing the boundaries. However, if you care about your back long term, I would strongly advise you to use something like that. Now, the first thing that I wish was different about this ring is obviously I would prefer it to be made out of carbon fiber, but I completely understand at this price point this is not doable. Now, one thing that I noticed is the screws here for the feet. I don't think they are the highest quality that I've ever seen, and I can definitely see like after half a year or a year, you probably have to replace them. However, there are quite a few things I like about this ring. Number one is definitely that it generates competition. At the current moment, companies like DigitalFoto and Tilta, they are beefing it out, they're competing against each other, and you know who profits at the end of the day? That's right, us content creators, because we get better gear at a more affordable price. I mean, let's face it, competition is really good for the end consumer, and when you look at it, Tilta has an incredibly similar offer for a few bucks more, so as always in life, I think it's great to have multiple choices. Finally, what I really like about the ring is the size. I think it's the perfect sweet spot between being big enough that you can use it for professional applications, but still staying small enough that it doesn't defeat the purpose of a small lightweight gimbal. My final thought is that I think we live in very exciting times to be a content creator. There is a lot of good, useful gear coming out, and it's getting better and more affordable with each iteration. For me, it will be very interesting to see the competition between companies like DigitalFoto and Tilta and to see what comes out of this. I guess that was it for this year. If you liked this video, it would mean a lot to me if you liked, subscribed, or leave a comment down below what you think about the DigitalFoto Ring for the DJI RS2. I wish you and your beloved ones a happy new year, stay safe and healthy, keep creating, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Cut!